I think probably Jeff is probably geeking out about it too. But CGC acquired JSA, so that's going to be a big because you know from a signature point of view, you used to have the CGC there with you or have a C.
Well,
Now
I'm
with
going to stop you.
respect,
I'm going to stop you. Let's kind of break it down for the viewers that might not
okay,
know what we're talking about. So CGC is this is one of my books that I have for sale. So this is a CGC,
yep,
and this is an interesting one because it's a sketch, and it's done by Jock. And this one has been authenticated. So that means it's authenticated by CGC to say that Jock actually drew this. No one else did. Because sometimes when you buy original art, where you think you're buying original art, but it might not be because
yeah.
you don't have any sort of like reference but this guarantees that it was done by the artist. And so that's what CGC is. Tell us about the other company, Matt, what the other company does.
JSA, they have, and maybe Jeff probably knows more about it, but JSA, they do, of course, comments, but you could get like baseball bats, I mean, footballs signed by, you know, the athlete, that it's supposed to. And it didn't have to be witnessed because they have autograph authentication, people that work with them and things like that. So, but a lot of times it was witnessed, like JSA holds events. Hey, hypothetically, Patrick Mahomes is going to be do a signing. Oh, JSA is going to be there to witness. It's JSA, certified.
So just
So
like
now,
CGC at the shows, they have a witness that you go get. They watch you sign
yeah,
it, or they watch the artist sign it. They bag it, and then you bring it. I mean, it seals it, like that
yeah,
sort of thing. So JSA does the same type of thing at the events.
yeah.
It's similar
So
probably
it's
to what. Oh, okay. So CBCS already does this to where they give you
yep.
like an authorized, whatever, like qualified signature.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if it's going to be the same with CGC. It's where you're going to get a yellow label, but it might not be like the green label anymore. It might just say like, like it was approved as a signature,
I think that
but it
would be
wasn't witnessed.
stupid do it like the because Jeff can talk about this more, but the dreaded green label drops the value like
Yeah.
crazy. If you get a green label CGC and you got a blue label or even a yellow label, that green label drops like crazy. And
So
Jeff
let's
can maybe break it down more.
let's break the green label down. So here's my understanding that the green is a signature, but it wasn't verified.
Yes.
No, it's more than that.
Okay.
The green label is anything. It's like an unusual defect. When CGC first opened their doors, they were giving out green labels like crazy for things like tanning on interior covers.
Interior?
Like yeah.
Wow.
So they've adjusted the green label over the years. It's not used as much as it used to be, but it's still used for things like that. But one of the things, like you said, that it's used for is an unverified signature.
Or anything written on the book, basically. Anything written or anything that could be on the inside pages, it'll just say like, instead of you getting the yellow label, it'll say this is written on the cover or this is written on the first page.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it does. It's not any writing, but it's any signature. I mean, if there's someone's initials on the front cover, they don't put it in a green label. They'll mark it down for having writing on the cover. No. But if it's not an attempted signature, they don't put it in a green label.
Oh, I thought it did.
No.
Hey, Jeff?
I thought it was anything that's written on the book. Like it could be like signature or like any word or something.
No. So, to be honest, I'm not familiar with the new company. Do they actually offer signature verification for signatures that they didn't view?
Yes.
Is that CBCS?
Like CBCS?
They do that with just like CBCS. Now, here's going to be the big question. Number one, is it going to be a true yellow label, like we're used to? But then number two, I think we can all agree that CGC has been under a little bit of fire of lately. That being said, I don't know if they're going to charge, let's say we're all at a con. We go to a con and, okay, hey, I get, let's just say, Jock's signature. And CGC witnessed that. Okay, that's great. hey, I got Jock's signature, but you were not at the booth, but here you go. Are they going to charge to verify the signature, since they got to, with respect, pay somebody
Probably, yeah.
to verify the signature? So is it going to be like hypothetically like a $10 upcharge, $20 upcharge, etc.?
Most likely, because that's what CBCS does. So
Yeah.
they got to pay somebody to come authenticate it. So
Well, do you think JLA will dissolve and it'll just be under the CGC
Yes.
brand?
Yes.
So they'll use their authenticators probably for everything, don't you think?
Yes.
I have to be honest, I will never be as comfortable with a signature that wasn't verified. It wasn't seen in person.
Do you have any CBCS books that are signed?
No.
No.
So what
And
they
I
did,
don't have any CBCS books.
what they did was smart. They knew people hated the green label, so when they started that program, I believe they were giving out, it was like a red label, so where it was authenticated. So it wasn't like the ugly green label, but you can send them the book and they'll authenticate it and say it was like it's authenticated
So,
signature.
just to break it down for you, Chris, let's say you got with respect, Batman 1, and you got a CGC Batman 1 graded at, let's just say, a 1.0, and you have a CBCS Batman graded, same grade, 1.0. That CGC is worth way more money than that CBCS.
Well, as soon as I saw this announcement, Matt texted me, and then about 5 minutes later, I saw a post on Facebook. And so I was reading the post about it, and a lot of the comments were saying, is this the death of CBCS? Is it? What do you guys think?
I think it is.
Like, I don't know how they could compete with it.
I don't. I think that's an exaggeration of how many books they slab that are signature series as opposed to Blue Label. There's nothing changes with Blue Label.
Yep, you're right.
That's a good point.
Good point.
And yeah, so as long as they're cheaper and they're getting your books back to you really quick, they're going to get a segment of the business. They also have dealers that exclusively use them because they get a better deal than from CGC. So, yeah, I mean, CBCS was bought up by Beckett years ago. They're not a small company anymore.
And I think maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it one of the guys that started that company? He was originally a partner with CGC.
Steve Borak was the president of CGC. He left and he brought at least one of the main graders, Wes Steffen, with him, and they started CBCS. And they operated as the independent company for a number of years, and then Beckett bought them out.
Yep.
Borak has now moved on. I think he might be with Comic Link now. He was with My Comic Shop for a while. He moves around a lot. He's a really nice guy. He knows a lot about comics. He's like a
big wig. He's a big wig in it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big wig. Really nice guy. So they were very aware of the differences between what people didn't like about CGC, and they were able to bring that to CBCS, like verifying signatures that were not witnessed. But I'm sure this new company is great. I'm not familiar with them because I'm not into sports memorabilia, but I will never be as comfortable with a non-witnessed signature slab as a witnessed one. Yeah.
CBCS has really good slabs, just don't prefer the labels. That's from Kevin Dark Ranger 7. I hear that complaint a lot, where it's but didn't CBCS just recently kind of upgrade their labels to look a little bit more like CGC? Do you already have one, Jeff?
An old one.
They changed them a lot.
Well, yeah, okay, that's the old one.
Yeah.
I think I like that one better.
This was from Dynamic Forces when it came out with Jim Lee's signature. They did 3,000 of them, and I sent it to CBCS. And I think they're doing a yellow label now.
Yeah, I'll give them credit. The new labels look real good, and the number, whatever grade it gets, is hologram kind of, so it looks real cool.
I haven't seen one in person yet, and maybe you guys know a little bit more, but since they've gone to the new labels, have they been well received in the community? Like, do you think that they'll ever get to that level where people like CBCS as much as CGC?
At one point, I actually did prefer CBCS because when they first started, they had clearer cases, to where CGC was constantly having like those oily Newton rings.
Newton rings, yeah.
Yeah, the rainbow effect. They've gotten better, CGC, but yeah, I don't know. The quality like of their cases were like very like clear and visible to where you could see through them better versus CGC.
Some of the major collectors, they prefer the CBCS case. They say it's more durable, number one, but they say it's also got the UV protection too for like fading and all that. So they've definitely got a good case.
Yeah.
What have you heard from the community? Like, do you guys have a feel for if that's made a dent, if that's made a difference?
Not really. Like Matt said, like if you have the same book, usually that the CGC is going to be more value because more people collect CGC. So
Well, it's also because there is a perception among collectors that the grading at CBCS is a little bit looser than at CGC. So if you crack out a CGC 9.0 and send it to CBCS, you might get a 9.2.
I always heard they were stricter, actually. But that was like 10 years
That's not
ago.
the general perception, but yeah.
Well, when I was big into like comics, a lot of the collectors, it was just like an OCD thing to where they didn't want to switch to CBCS because their entire collection is CGC, so they didn't want like these like start changing the look of their cases.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Brendan says the benefit. Brendan says the benefit here is if you have books signed at shows but can't afford to send them all in to be graded, you can wait and send in later and still get a CGC yellow label. Yeah. You have not missed the statue chat. Sorry if we're boring you, Giant Axe, talking about comics. We talk a little bit of everything, but we're definitely going to be talking about statues tonight for sure. We've got, I think, almost 200 photos to look at tonight, so it'll be a lot of fun.
We're going to talk about Kate Middleton, aren't we? Where's Kate Middleton?
Where is she?
Yeah, there's a loop to that, like what he just said. So if you already have a signature on the book, you can have a second person sign it and have it witnessed, and you will get a yellow label, but then it will also have like, it won't say like the first signature will just say, this wasn't witnessed, whatever. It'll say this was written on the cover or something.
It's crazy. It's going to be interesting to follow over the next couple of months to see how that all pans out. I don't know if it's an immediate change or what, but
I think they said you can start submitting April 14th. So I think it's going to be pretty quick.
Yeah, once they announce something, it's going to happen real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. JWR says, everyone hit that like button. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, guys. If you would do that, that does help us out tremendously. Hey, guys, thank you so very much for watching today. And if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these 2 awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also, please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.